Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Hutchison. My topic for my presentation today will be on cryptocurrencies. Um, in this presentation, I'll be explaining what cryptocurrencies are. I'll explain kind of the building blocks of crypto, as well as some of the applications of cryptocurrencies, along with similar effects they might have on the current fiat system. So to improve your knowledge of cryptocurrencies, first we'll have to define a few things. First thing we're going to be defining is what is crypto. So you might have heard about it in the news. It's quite large right now. So you can hear it by the name cryptocurrencies, crypto, coins, anything along that line. So what it is, cryptocurrencies are a decentralized digital currency that operates without the use of a central bank. The benefits that this can provide is that it's a monetary asset that exists outside the control of the government, meaning that it's not affected by fiscal policy or any monetary policies, and they can't affect the assets. So that's why they're very unique in terms of what they do, because a lot of current assets are regulated by the government. Another thing that you'll have to know is what a blockchain is. So a blockchain is a method of verifying transactions through cryptography. And what this means is essentially they set up computers that run algorithms, and these create a transaction ledger. I'll go over this a little bit later of what a ledger kind of is. What this does is this ledger must be able to be visible by every other peer on the network, and under each node. And every node must be confirmed, making it very difficult for transaction history to be forged. And this is done by having computers called miners, which do these algorithms to verify that a transaction went through, and their payment in return for this would be they get a kickback kind of some of the cryptocurrency. And what the kind of creating this ledger and having it all digitalized and decentralized, and what it does is it allows for high visibility, which makes any errors stick out like a sore thumb, in lack of a better term. And this helps benefit largely through the reduction in points of error, and helps trust, as everybody can see it, so there's nothing going on in the background, as well as it's all done at low cost very, very quickly. With this knowledge, I'll kind of cover a little brief description of what a ledger is. So in this scenario, imagine that you and three of your other friends trade money quite frequently. So instead of just kind of dealing with it immediately, you decide, hey, let's settle this at the end of the month. So essentially, anybody that spends more than they receive, their money can go into the pot here. And anybody that receives more than they spend, they pull out of the pot. And kind of the rules behind this are anybody that use it can create like a line. So let's say you pay friend one $20. So then you goes to friend number one. Let's say that you spent $20, right? So that then becomes the ledger. Anybody can create them. And where this kind of runs into a problem with cryptocurrency is that over time, there's nothing that can't say that, you make the deal and then friend one pulls out. Well, then how are you or friend one getting that money? So what they do is they create cryptography that allows them to be able to authenticate this. So let's say that friend one decides to drop out in this circumstance. Well, because friend one drops out, friend two would be looking at this deal between you and friend one as everything is open. And if friend two sees that friend one isn't there, then he won't authorize it or authenticate it to friend three or you that it actually happened, making it very kind of foolproof and very secure method of transactions. So now with the knowledge of this, we can now kind of discuss some of the impacts of the actors in this industry. So the largest of which is Bitcoin, which I almost guarantee all of you have all heard. Bitcoin is the largest name in the crypto environment, as it was the first cryptocurrency, but it is also the largest it is the largest distribution. It was launched in 2008 by a mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto. It was the first cryptocurrency that proved this multiple confirmation ledger program was possible. And it is created with an artificial limit of 21 million Bitcoins that exist. And this is kind of the reason why everyone's aware of the extreme price, is just due to the law of supply and demand with the currency. Because if people start buying it now, in 20, 30 years, there won't be very much left, which increases the value of it. So off the back of Bitcoins, there are thousands of other crypto coins, which are created with a variety of purposes, such as Ethereum, which is the second biggest cryptocurrency. Now, it was created by a Canadian named, what was his name here? Vitalik Buterin. Now, as I said, he was a Canadian programmer, and he created Ethereum when he was only 19 years old. And the benefit of Ethereum is that it can actually host many other altcoins, which is anything other than Bitcoin. And it can operate different kinds of apps on different levels of the service. So there are actually levels to the service as well. So the main question that everyone right now is kind of asking is, why could Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies be the future fiat currency? So people say that with the fall of the reserve currency, that a digital currency might be a better option to take its place, as most people these days pay with credit cards and not cash, which is denoted in US dollars, which is the fiat currency. And when compared to companies like Visa and MasterCard, cryptos could completely disrupt the industry based on kind of the speed at which they can accomplish these transactions, as well as the efficiency of working multiple transactions at once. And I'm talking in the hundreds of thousands. And one of the largest benefits is just the peer-to-peer transfer system. So you can transfer out of the country, which normally you have to pay for foreign exchanges and all of that sort of deal. And it can happen very quickly, and everybody can see it happen on the ledger, making it very secure. Another benefit could be that Bitcoin is preset at $21 million or 21 million coins, meaning that as the government prints more money with their very liberal monetary policies, that the value of Bitcoin is actually hedged against inflation, as there is that set amount, and there will never be excess of that. Now, we also, with all the good, we also have to look at some of the bad. So what are some of the downsides of crypto? So some of the negative aspects of the cryptocurrencies are their volatility. Now, because they are so new, there's very little kind of experience in financial markets. Now, when I say that they're speculation, this means that there's a large amount of money moving in and out because nobody knows the exact price of it. So this causes large value swings to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now, there's a theory that says when all the Bitcoin is retrieved, as it's most institutionally accepted, that this volatility will drop as the price for one Bitcoin gets solidified because there's no more production. But however, there is no proof that this is the case, as it hasn't happened yet. So it is very early on in its experience, but there's definitely a lot of growth to be made and a lot of different transitions in terms of kind of the life cycle of Bitcoin. Now, another possible downside would be the massive amount of energy required to host this sort of system. And these algorithms are run by massive computer farms, Many in Iceland, many in Germany, many in the States now that China has officially banned it. And these require huge amounts of processing power. However, like many industries, they're looking for renewables to help cover some of this cost in terms of power. And there's already some stats saying that the use of renewables in cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, ranges at anywhere from 40% to 75%. However, this is hard to kind of track down as it is decentralized, meaning that there is no one person that controls it, and it's quite anonymous, meaning that you can't really see who owns it at the time. So yeah, then it brings us to kind of the biggest threats to crypto. So right now, the largest threat would be to the entire crypto space would be the SEC and DTCC in the States creating regulations. They kind of create the regulations for all things investment in the United States. Now we haven't quite heard of what their plans to do. They haven't been announced yet. However, there are some large members who have ulterior motives and some actors that would benefit with maintaining the status quo with the reserve currency that don't want to move into this more efficient, faster style of connection. So having said that, we kind of have three outcomes for what could happen should the DTCC and SEC regulate cryptocurrencies. So the three ones that I kind of have read over have been number one, that the United States completely bans crypto. Now, I think that this is probably the worst thing that they could do, as it is a multi-trillion-dollar industry as of right now, and they are one of the leading members in Bitcoin mining and use of actual cryptocurrencies throughout different organizations, and they're still slowly starting to be accepted by large financial institutions. Tesla bought some. There's been many that have put it on their balance sheets now just to hedge against inflation. The second kind of thing that I could see happening would be that there's regulations that can mediate between cryptocurrencies and the government, just to improve clarity, improve safety for the investors, because in the end, that's what the SEC's main goal is to provide safety and resources for people using or that are investing. And third of which I would be most interested in seeing, is that the government leaves Bitcoin alone. They don't impose any restrictions, any regulations on top of it, and just let it do its thing. Now, I think this would be the most organic for this brand new financial system, and I think it would be interesting to see how it evolves to see its full potential. Now, a second threat that is the idea of the greater fool theory. Now, what that is that it's a theory behind the only thing that drives the price is that there's another person that would be willing to buy it at a higher price, right? So in the end, you could see it go up, parabolic like Bitcoin has been, but without kind of that underlying tangible asset. There is the theory that if there was no buyers, that it could completely drop down to zero, meaning that it wouldn't be worth anything whether you had 1 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoins, 100 Bitcoins, it would still be worth zero. And finally, in terms of payments, and then finally, in terms of payment systems, just in conclusion, in terms of payment systems and the economy is moving to a digital side, especially during COVID, is that cryptocurrencies are still fledgling on their development. They're still brand new in terms of, the financial markets, right? They've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and Bitcoin's been around since 2008, which is 12 years. And look at the progress it's already had. So they're still incredibly new, but they provide massive rewards at the cost of major risks as well. It is quite vulnerable today to manipulation and as it is unregulated right now, there's nothing protecting you against that manipulation. And finally, I just kind of want to finish this up with, no one's quite sure what the end will bring, but for many, this could be the path to monetary freedom. And this is kind of what inspires everybody to move into an asset class, is that there is a potential to free yourself from any underlying or anything tying you down, like the system, like the work system. And it is the potential to make it rich, which in the end, that's kind of the dream that everybody has. And that's why people are piling so much money into it. So I wanted to thank you for watching, and any questions, concerns, don't forget to leave a like. You can put it right down in the description, or in the description down below. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, and catch you later.